What's up everybody, Fortexfiend here, and welcome back again to another video on SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, where in this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article that was posted by the Gundam Info website, and it's an interview with the producer, Shogo Kojima, on this game. We're going to be going over some of the highlights of that interview, especially ones that kind of pertain to future content and future plans for this game. But before I go ahead and get started on that, you guys know the drill. Hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're not missing out on future uploads. Leave a like or dislike on this video and comment down below if you've had a chance to read the article. This was shared on my Discord, which you could find the link to my Discord in the video description as well as the pinned comments. I'll be also leaving the link to this interview so you guys can also get a chance to look at it for yourself. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this interview. So as we can see right here, this is the article that was posted. There is Shogo Kojima. I absolutely love his SD Gundam G Generation Eternal hoodie. I want one for myself, although it's a little too loud for my taste. So I don't know if I would actually completely wear that in public, but it's cool. I like it. I like it. You know, you can tell that he's very passionate about this. So we're going to go ahead and scroll through here, and I'm going to be pointing out some of the some of the questions, some of the things that he says that stood out to me. So we're going to go ahead and scroll through here. So right over here, G-Gen Eternal has become astonishingly popular. Did you expect this level of success? So he said it was completely unexpected. They didn't anticipate such a strong response, especially because this is a gacha game. And usually gacha games tend to have, like, you know, kind of a bad stigma because, you know, there's always pay-to-win aspects and things like that. But, you know, it got a really good reception, not only from longtime series fans, but also players new to the G-Gen that joined through this title. And to be honest, I am one of those newer players that joined for the G-Gen title. I've only seen a few of the Gundam animes. I didn't really read much of the mangas. So jumping into this, because I do love giant robots, I do love Gundam, was actually a treat for me as well. He is very excited about the momentum, that there's more and more players, you know, enjoying the game, and they're working hard to improve the game and adjust their operation. So they are hearing us when it comes to the feedback. They have sent out surveys. I'm hoping to see more surveys because I thought that was going to be a regular thing, but hopefully we'll see a little bit more in that. But we know that they are working to make this game a lot more intuitive and easier to understand. So right over here, let's talk a bit about the game. What key points did they focus on developing G Generation Eternal as a mobile app? So there were two previous G-Gen titles as mobile games, but neither of them were a simulation, they're saying. With this title, they went back to the roots and developed it as like a simulation game with that, you know, with that whole strategy RPG type of an element. And then their concept was a Gundam encyclopedia that you can play anywhere. And that is exactly how I see this game, besides the whole strategy RPG, is that you go through these different series, whether you are familiar or unfamiliar with a ton of the Gundam series, and you kind of get a gist of what is happening in the story. It gives you, you know, an information about the pilots. It gives me information about the units. So it kind of educates you whether you are either a new, you know, person to Gundam, or like an experienced person, you know, getting into Gundam. So I actually really like it, and their goal is to make this app a textbook for Gundam, which that is exactly how I definitely see it here. So right over here, they said it took a long time from announcement to the launch. Some fans even thought that the development had been canceled. Why did it take so long? So their concept was to create a fully featured G-Gen experience that you can enjoy in short bursts of time. Even though I know some of us did not short burst this game, because a lot of us, you know, first week had already cleared all the content. But you know, after the closed beta test and the Tokyo Game Show, you know, they had a lot of countless discussions, and transitioning from controller based to touch control such a major factor. And it looks like over here they said they revised the UI about 6 times during development. So this is why it took so long for the game to come out after the closed beta. Okay, we're gonna keep moving on here. Could you share your vision for the future of G-Gen? There are still many titles we haven't added yet. So first and foremost, we want to firmly establish the base and deliver unimplemented scenarios to players as soon as possible. So in terms of like scenarios that we haven't seen yet, or specific storylines that need to be continued, this is coming as soon as possible. We just got to be patient. I know it does seem like at times that content is dry, but pretty much from Kojima-san right here, he's stating that we're going to be getting some unimplemented scenarios soon. It looks like right now their focus is more on like these side stories. Like, for example, we had Lacroix and Hero, we had Thunderbolt December Sky, we also had, you know, the Astray event. So looks like that's what they're focusing on, is what I'm getting from this. But we're going to be seeing more, which is good. All right, so we're going to see A little bit more here. I love After War Gundam X, but it doesn't get much exposure. I hope G-Gen will help it get the attention it deserves. The Mobile Suits character, story, and music are all amazing. So Kojima says it's fantastic, no doubt. Not all stories have been added to G-Gen Eternal yet. They're trying to highlight it, and then he says right here that Gundam Double X is one of his favorite mobile suits, so maybe this is hinting at a Gundam X event very, very soon. I haven't seen Gundam X. I've seen some of the Gunplas or some of the, the model kits back as a kid, but I never really knew much about the anime. From what I understand, that anime is not dubbed, but the subs are out there. I should probably check it out myself, but from the looks of this, it looks like Gundam X potentially might be something that we're going to be seeing in the near future. They're asking about the BGM being added to existing story content. I know this is something that a lot of us have been wanting because we love the music from Gundam, especially like from Gundam Wing, stuff like that. We plan to add a BGM switch function soon, so please stay tuned. He likes the music from Mobile Suit Crossbone Gundam, and of course, being attached to the series of G-Gen Eternal through repeated listening during development, especially the title screen theme. So it looks like they are working on allowing us to implement and switch up the music so we can hear a lot of our favorite tracks. But just a warning to those of you that are content creators, which is myself, if they put some of those tracks, like, for example, just communication with the lyrics and all that, be careful. That could get you copyrighted, so just keep that in mind when they do add that. One question right here that stood out: other plans to add non-animated Gundam works? We are definitely considering them. However, I can't give you a specific timeline at the moment. We appreciate all of your patience. So it looks like they are working on potentially adding non-Gundam type works into this. So we might see an Evangelion. We might see maybe like Combatler V or Voltus 5. We've already seen this done with Super Robot Wars because that's pretty much the title that encompasses all of those, including Gundam. So I think the way that they're going to have to execute that is do it in a way where it doesn't feel like this game is another Super Robot Wars, but do it in a way that makes it special and unique so that if we do get something like Evangelion or, Combatler V, or even something like super rare like Knights of Sidonia, if you guys have never heard of that anime, it'll be special and it still fits within the Gundam world. Okay, let's see right here. As we've announced in a recent live stream, we will be adding them in terms of like SD Gundam. So they're going to be a little bit more SD Gundam, and he says he even has a childhood model kit that his grandmother bought him, but someone here was asking about SD Gundam, and we just got some from Lacroix and Hero, so it looks like we're going to be seeing more. We are getting one with an upcoming Fierce Enemy Battle Assault that features the Musha Gundam, so that is going to be something that we can be looking forward to. Okay, and let's see right here. What else? There was one more that I saw here that stood out. I think that might be it. Yeah, I think it was just a collaboration, and it being kind of like a textbook, or like they want it to be like an encyclopedia for Gundam. And then right over here, there is a promotional code that you could input in game through the the little login that you have right there. And if you do use it, the G Fan Club, it just gives you a title that says Gundam Fan Club. So if you want like an extra title, unfortunately no tickets or no diamonds. Would have been nice if we got something like that, but it is what it is. We do get a special title from using the promotional code GFANClub. But what do you guys think overall with this interview? Again, I'll be leaving the link to the full interview in the video description as well as the pinned comments. I just wanted to point out some of the stuff that stood out to me, especially the whole collaborations and changing up the music, and also implementing, some of the stories like that are more like scenario based. But what do you guys think overall? I think it's super exciting that, we finally got an interview from Kojima himself, and he's putting a lot of passion into this project, and that the response overall has been pretty positive. This game has had its fair share of things that it could definitely improve on that we've already seen, and I'm hoping that they do still continue to do that, but it's nice to hear from the developer or the producer himself. All right, guys, well, this is going to go ahead and conclude the video. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and stay blessed, everybody.